Hey guys and gals, Never here from Drakewing Gaming and something about on Twitter, the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of Violet Memoir, Oscar's Path. So y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? Alarm chain, we're up and let's go! Alrighty. Alright. He doesn't answer, and I can't tell if he's ignoring my question or just fully in the zone. If I had to guess, I think it's a little bit of both. This isn't the time to be poking around in his brain. If I did faint from diving in, then I really do need this relaxation time. I just can't shake the feeling that it was something a little more. I can still feel that almost jelly-like hand in my own. Just who was that? With a final sigh, I dunked my head in the water to enjoy a brief reprise from all the sounds above the surface. Sometimes silence is needed. Oscar doesn't take long to join me under the water, circling me as he reaches out to offer his hand. There's that softness in his eyes that makes my heart swell. A part of me wants to jump into his arms or press my mouth against his, but I know that's not within reach just yet. He might be able to comfort others, but this is all he can handle right now. And as I take his hand, I can feel just how gently he holds it, pulling me through the water with the care to not disorient me, and I immediately know it. This is enough for now. I feel like if nothing stopped us, Oscar would have had us swimming in there until someone kicked us out. Thankfully, weasels aren't made for that long in the water, so I can only last so long. The feeling of chlorine really sticks in the fur. I don't know how Oscar does it so much. At least the showers there got it out, but it was just another reminder of the required distance between us. A part of me expected him to teasing object, but he almost seemed eager. Sometimes to get out of there. Seemed eager to get out of there. I'm not sure if this is because of what Coach told me earlier, or if there's something else at play here. The moment we got out of the pools, he didn't hesitate before walking in a direction without any discussion, other than making sure I was coming along as well. I've never headed this direction through the courtyard. Must be heading to another exit from campus. Where are we going? It's just somewhere I thought it could help us all. Help all of us. It sounds like what happened with Wolf yesterday bothered you, man. Well, yeah, we went through all that, but only got hints at best. Thought it might be best to get an expert opinion. Maybe they can tell us how to handle Wolf better. Are you sure? It sounds like Wolf didn't want to talk to us until we figured it out ourselves, and at that point, why would we go back to him? Because he probably knows more about the situation than we do. Doesn't seem like the kind of guy to get a secret and just sit on it, you know? I bet he did some research himself. Research on what? That's what we want to find out, right? Plus, I thought this could be a good place for us. Honestly, we both could use more friends. I just got like 7 new friends in the past week. How much more could I need? It never hurt to get too many, right? Plus, a friend of a friend is still a friend, you know, don't you think? Are they a friend of yours, then? Not exactly. What is that? Look, I can see it just over there. I hadn't even realized we left campus already. I've been so engrossed in my conversation we must have traveled numerous blocks. I can't even see the campus anymore. From the look of the building, it looks to be an apartment complex made for students, except that it's way more complicated than mine. It can't be too far from campus, then. Who lives here? Haven't figured that part out yet, huh? Come on, little dude. Process of elimination. I didn't come here to think. I thought we were trying to do the opposite of that. I don't think you're capable of not thinking. You're like Overthinker Supreme, the cutest superhero. Aww. Too much? Yeah, not my best one either. It was fine. I just wasn't expecting it, that's all. Isn't that a bit, much for you? What? Nah, man, I'm just teasing you. There's no implications in that. You wouldn't think Lee was hitting on you if he called you cutie, right? I guess not. That's how I'm looking at it. Who knows? Maybe I'll be back to really flirt with you soon. I can lean in pretty hard. As if to emphasize his size, he straightens up to show just how much he looms over me, both in height and width. His large smile stops him from being intimidating, at least. Oh. Then he deflates like a balloon, returning back to his still large but more approachable demeanor. That ain't my thing. I prefer a little subtlety, you know? If I was just in your face about it, well, I'd just be Wolf. I prefer being me. I like it when you're you, too. That catches him off guard, and there's a brief surge of worry, but that quickly passes when I see him looking more flustered than nervous. Come on, it's just through the gate. They're unlocked for everyone right now, but they'll be locked up soon. Gotta keep people safe when it starts to get dark, right? I follow him through to what looks to be an outside lobby area leading to a bunch of different doors. It's almost like a concrete courtyard with small garden patches littered about. Unlike our building, which has a ton of floors filled with small rooms meant to accommodate 2 people, this place only has a few stories, but the building almost wraps around us. From what I can see, each apartment is much larger than the ones we have, having multiple different rooms within them. I guess they're supposed to be closer to real apartments, just for students? The strangest thing is that there doesn't seem to be an interior leading to them. All the front doors of the apartment just lead outside of this closed-off courtyard area. I'm almost so stunned by that I nearly lose track of Oscar, who looks to know exactly where he's going, which only has me more curious. Eventually, he stops in front of one of the doors, and with mischievous wink in my direction, making me feel like we're doing something we're not supposed to be, he knocks on the door. There's a moment of silence before a muffled, deep voice pipes up from the other side, reminding me of Lee if he was, more like Oscar, actually. Dude, why do you always knock on the door when you have a key? Just let yourself in. The door swings open, and the person standing in the doorway wasn't any of the candidates I had been expecting when Oscar mentioned process of elimination. Oh, damn, he fine. Like, it was funny the first time, but now? Who the hell are you guys? What are you doing here? His voice jumped from being casual to frightened to full of rage in all a matter of seconds, and I'm left reeling at what's going on. Oscar doesn't look fazed in the slightest. If anything, he looks even more curious than I've ever seen him. I don't think he expected to see whoever this was either, which has me more confused. In front of us looks to be a rat, larger than any I've seen before, staring back at us in what looks to be terror, like we just saw something awful. He's not wearing a shirt and only has a pair of very loose shorts that look to be barely hanging onto his hips. He's wearing what looks to be an expensive watch on his wrist and a rainbow-beaded necklace. Due to his lack of clothes, I'm able to see that he's got a very athletic build, and if it wasn't for my constant exposure to Oscar, I'd have been impressed by how strong he looks. There's also something around his neck that I just saw only a moment before he covered it up. I wasn't able to make out any details, but it's clear that he didn't want us seeing it. Another voice yells out from behind him. Unlike the rat's almost exasperated way of talking, this other voice sounded much more uninterested. Isn't the whole point of you wearing that so you can get more comfortable? I don't really care, but it sounds pretty counterproductive. The rat twirls around on whoever spoke, growling something to the unknown person that sounds like some variation of piss off. He's blocking most of the doorway, stopping me from being able to make out who he's talking to. A slam of an unseen door puts an end to their conversation, and the rat doesn't turn back to us, the back of him looking just as uncertain as he had moments ago. His hand is still wrapped around his neck, and he looks to be pondering what the voice said to him, barely acknowledging us as he seems to have been having an internal debate. Eventually, he pulls his arm away, bringing it back down to his shorts, which had sunken lower on his figure, showing off more than I think he intended to show. He turns back to us, his face returning back to something more relaxed, though there's an underlying nervousness to his features that doesn't look to be leaving soon. I'm not able to see what he'd been hiding. At first, I thought it was some kind of collar, but it looks thinner and more stylized than that. I'd seen some of the girls at my school wearing something similar. My eyes brought to the little star that looks to be slightly off-center from the middle. Its color seems to change depending on the angle, reflecting a rainbow of colors. Looking at his face again, there's something familiar about him that I can't quite place. I swear I've met him before, but I feel like I've seen his face somewhere. I swear I've never met him before, but I feel like I've seen his face somewhere. Neither of us seem to have anything to say to each other. Even Oscar looked surprised by the turn of events. Thankfully, we were saved by another voice chiming in, sounding much more welcoming than either the two of us have heard so far, almost excited. Is that Oscar? I didn't think we'd be seeing you over again so soon. I can make out the owner of this new voice approaching from behind the rat, though he looks almost hesitant to get out of the way. It isn't until they put a hand on their arm that he takes a step back. Oh, cute. The owner of the voice looks to be a bat, much shorter than the rat next to him. He looks to be around my height, and his bright demeanor is a stark contrast to the uneasy rodent next to him. He looks to be wearing an Everwinter varsity jacket, though it looks to be several sizes too big for him as it drapes over his body, going well past his hips. The glasses he's wearing are larger than any I've ever seen before, but they somehow seem to fit him perfectly. Maybe it's because they match the size of his ears. The necklace around his neck looks significantly out of place. It looks expensive, like a genuine piece of jewelry my mother would wear. As soon as he sees Oscar, he gives him a massive grin that shows off his sharp fangs. They're stark contrast to how harmless the rest of him looks. It's you, and you brought a friend. Wait, I think I recognize you. You're Wallace, right? Selwyn and Oscar talked about you a lot. Selwyn did? Yeah, I stayed here on Saturday night. The three of us had a good chat. A certain weasel kept popping up in our chat. How weird is that? Oh, this is Selwyn's apartment? Bingo! Honestly, I'm shocked you didn't figure it out earlier, man. We didn't have a lot of options. This cutie here is Baxter, and Selwyn's best friend. Oscar's comment doesn't bother Baxter, but the rat next to him rolls his eyes at the comment, sneering at the comment, but makes no remark towards it. If anything, he suddenly looks like he feels very out of place, and I'm feeling the same way. Oh, I'm being an awful host. Come in! Sorry, I didn't really expect anyone to be coming over. Selwyn said he was going to send you a text. Oh, crud, I haven't checked my phone in a bit. I've been a little distracted. Games or a show? It's just that latest episode of The Greatest Escapist came out. I had to watch it before people started posting spoilers. Anyway, come in. There's enough room for everyone here. Baxter leads us into the apartment, putting a hand on the rat's stomach as if he's pushing him along as well. I expected there to be some resistance from him, but he just goes along with whatever the bat wants. He hasn't even spoken since Baxter appeared, though if I had to guess why from his frantic glances around that he's still feeling uncomfortable exposing what's around his neck. Baxter seems to notice this too and starts to whisper something to him. I can't make out much of it, but from what I can hear, it just sounds like he's checking if he's okay. And from the rodent's grumbles and dismissive waves, it doesn't seem like he appreciates it. Though he doesn't seem to be pushing him away, so that's something at least. Though this interaction seems to spark some recognition in the bat's eyes. Oh crap, sorry, I totally forgot to introduce you to Rex here. He's a friend. Just a friend? I didn't want to comment on it, but it looks like Oscar noticed just how handsy Baxter had been with Rex this entire time. I expected him to get a little flustered at the question, but it doesn't seem to faze him at all. Where do I get that composure? Oh no, we're nothing like that, not really. Rex, on the other hand, seems much more flabbergasted at the question, once again rapidly switching between embarrassed to furious without even muttering a single word. I'm not even sure what to make of that. Does he live here as well? I only really met you when I stayed here last. Your other friend didn't seem too keen on meeting me. Rex? Nah, he lives at one of the frats nearby. I actually don't know which one now that I think about it. He started scanning the varsity jacket he was wearing as if it would have been the answer to his question, but when he doesn't seem to find it, he looks over to Rex for the answer. Alpha Theta Phi. He barely mutters it under his breath, but that doesn't stop Oscar from chuckling as the grin he's wearing regains that mischievous hint. Of course, that explains too much. What is Alpha Theta Phi? It's a frat with a reputation for a very specific group of people joining. Isn't that just a rumor, though? Well, rumors are sometimes funny. When you have a place that's known for having certain people, then you encourage people like them to join. Huh. Alright, I'm gonna pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!